All right, so today we are going to start chapter 5 on inequalities. We're going to start with real basic how to graph, how to solve basic two-step inequalities. We're also going to learn set notation and interval notation. So an inequality is a mathematical sentence built from expressions using one or more symbols. And actually, let's add this symbol because not equal to is also. Remember, this is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal to. Okay, and we solve them just like an equation, except when we multiply or divide both sides by a negative, we have to flip the order symbol. So set notation uses the symbols that you're used to. Interval notation is new. So interval notation is new. We use parentheses, brackets, and the infinity signs. When you use a parenthesis, it means that something is not included, so it's equivalent to greater than. When you use a bracket, it means greater than or equal to. You always go from the smallest to the largest, so your infinity would be the last number. If it's less than, we're going from negative infinity to whatever that number is. And again, if it's just less than, we're going to use two parentheses. If it's less than or equal to, we use the bracket. Right, so let's look at the different kinds of notations and the solutions that they are going to be. This is x is greater than negative 2, and in interval notation, we have the parentheses negative 2 to infinity. So we're going to have an open circle on 2, negative 2. And my arrow is going to go to the right. Okay, my possible solutions are going to be everything that's greater than negative 2, but not including negative 2. So it could be negative 1.99, it could be 0, it could be 1,000, it could be 1.5, anything that's greater than negative 2. Okay. In this example, it's less than or equal to 2 because we have the bracket that means it includes 2. So I have a closed circle on 2, and then my arrow goes to the left. And this is the same as x is less than or equal to 2. So 1.5 could be a solution. 1.99 can be a solution. 0, negative 10. Anything that is less than 2 or equal to 2. This graph, I have an open circle at 1, so it's going to be x is less than 1. In interval notation, it's negative infinity to 1, and since 1 isn't included, we use a parenthesis. So this could be solutions negative 3, negative 20, 0.95. Anything as close to 1 as you can get, but not going over or not equal to 1. R not equal to 2, you would have an open circle here and arrows going in both directions. So basically, any number is a solution except for 2. You could have 1.99. You could have 2.001, and anything but that 2. Now, in interval notation, it's going to be negative infinity to 2, and we say union, we use a U, and 2 to infinity. Okay. Last example, x is greater than or equal to 0 in interval notation. It's 0, it's included, so you use the bracket to positive infinity, so that would include 0, 1/2, 5, 100, anything that's greater than 0. All right. So just take a second to read that. That's what we have here. if I'm going to solve inequalities now, if I've got just two-step, I want to undo any addition or subtraction, then undo any multiplication and division, and remember to flip the order symbol if both sides are multiplied or divided by a negative. So if I'm going to solve this inequality here, I'm going to add 9 to both sides, and I'm going to get 3x is greater than 33. I'm going to divide by 3, so x is greater than 11. I don't have to flip because I'm not multiplying or dividing by a negative. So if I'm going to graph, I'm just going to go 0. I'm okay with you just going 11 and then 12. Or you can even go 10, 11, 12 and show me that you kind of know how the order that it goes. I'm going to have an open circle on 11. It's greater than, so it's everything to my right. In set notation, it's x is greater than 11. In interval, it's 11 with the parentheses to infinity with parentheses. Okay. In this example, I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides, and I'm going to get negative 4x is less than 2. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. Since I'm dividing both sides by a negative, I've got to flip the order symbol so it's greater than negative 1/2. Okay. In set notation, x is greater than negative 1/2. In interval, it's parentheses. Oh, it's greater than or equal to. So it's going to be brackets. Negative 1/2. And then positive infinity. So if you want to go 0, 1, 1/2, it's going to be a closed circle. And my arrow will go to the right. Okay. In this case, I want to multiply both sides by 4. So I'm going to get x plus 9 is greater than negative 28. Okay. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides, and I'm going to get x is greater than negative 37. So that's my set notation. My interval notation is negative 37 with the parentheses to positive infinity. So negative 38, negative 37, negative 36. So I'm going to have an open circle on 37, and my arrow will go to the right again. With negative 2/3 c is greater than negative 16, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of negative 3/2. Okay, so I'm going to flip my order symbol. Seems I like greater thans in this lesson. Remember, this is the same as 16 over 1. So 16, 2 goes into 16 8 times. It goes into 2 once. So 8 times 3 is 24. So x or c is greater than or equal to 24. So 23, 24, and 25. And a closed circle on 24. And my arrow going to the right. And in interval notation, 24 is included, so a bracket 24 to infinity. Okay. Just to reiterate, if it was less than, if I've got something that's x is less than 5, I'm going to go negative infinity to 5. So negative infinity will always come first. All right, so have a math-tastic day. Yay.